Okay, so I kind of want to sit down and begin our coverage over the All In initiative that DC had basically started. Now, technically, we already did start the whole All In initiative when it comes to Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in the absolute universe, but I still want to cover things from the main DC universe as well. Now, here's the thing, we're still covering a lot of things that came out of the dawn of DC going into the whole All In initiative. But at the same time, I still want to cover the All In things as well. So both Dawn of DC and All In until we are officially caught up. Now, with all that being said, when it came to All In, they did give us some brand new books to go alongside the whole new initiative. So, like, for example, you have a brand new Batgirl series. Now, this puts Cassandra Cain as the main or the only Batgirl in the DC universe. And honestly, I kind of like that because for me growing up, when it came to comics, she was my Batgirl. I was born in 1994, so going into 2000s, she was my Batgirl to read about. The TV shows had Barbara, but comics, it was her. Now, Stephanie Brown was there as well, but like for 2 years and like put on the back burner. And so it's kind of exciting to see her return as the main Batgirl once again. And so getting into the first chapter for today's video, we do pick up with Cassandra Cain being confronted by, well, her mother, Lady Shiva. Now, when it comes to Lady Shiva, the reason why she is here right now is because, well, she wants to protect her daughter. Now, real quick, for Lady Shiva, she's one of the best assassins out there in the world when it comes to DC Comics, but also when it comes to, well, Cassandra Cain, the way she was raised by her parents was more of not being able to speak properly, but also not being able to have a connection to the outside world. But she was really taught more of how to read body language to make sure that Cassandra become a good assassin as well. And so with her being able to read other people's body language, she can tell when somebody is lying. She can tell when somebody is happy, mad, but she can also figure out what is somebody's next move going to be in the middle of a battle. Now, when it comes to Lady Shiva, she kind of knows how to hide her body language from her daughter to throw Cassandra off. Now, for Lady Shiva, she does tell Cassandra Cain, like, hey, listen, I'm here to protect you because apparently there is this new organization out there that's coming after Lady Shiva. And of course, they're going after anybody who has any kind of connection to her, like Cassandra. Now, for Cassandra, she does not look at Lady Shiva as her mother. She looks at Lady Shiva as just the person who gave birth to her, but that's really it because her family is the Bat family. Her father is Batman, and that's really it. But again, for Lady Shiva, she still takes honors in the idea of giving birth to Cassandra, but also kind of having a hand on how she was raised to be this perfect assassin or this perfect fighter. But either way, for Batgirl, she wants Shiva out of Gotham at this exact moment. But once again, it's Shiva saying, you don't understand. They're going to come after me and then sooner or later come after you. And so we both have to leave Gotham tonight as a way to protect ourselves from them. They're not going to stop until they get us. And then, unfortunately, they're then confronted by this brand new organization coming into DC Comics. Now, for Cassandra, she realized that she has no choice but to go ahead and fight alongside her mother. But at the same time, she's also kind of wondering who in the world is this brand new organization coming into their lives. Now, you had Lady Shiva tell Cassandra that they are called the Unburied, and apparently their main goal is to get blood. And right now, they're with the blood of Shiva, but also, of course, Cassandra as well. Now, as the battle goes on, you have Shiva and also Batgirl just jump out a window. And you have Batgirl being able to just glide away from these warriors who were just sent after them. Now, for Lady Shiva, she says, listen, I do have a plan to get us out of Gotham tonight, but you have to follow every single step of my plan. Now, for Lady Shiva, she does have an actual order that's named after her, the Order of Shiva, and I kind of find that pretty amazing. Now, the high priest of her order is, well, killed off. Matter of fact, when it comes to her temple that she has in Gotham, it gets blown up. So, yes, the people inside got hit very hard, and the high priest of the temple was killed off by the unburied. And so once you have our two characters go inside the temple, they're once again confronted by more members of the unburied. And so as the first chapter closes, you have Cassandra realize that she technically has no choice here but to go ahead and fight alongside with her mother against this army of great warriors, better known as the unburied. And so, as we dive into the second chapter, we pick up with, well, Batgirl and Lady Shiva working together to fight against the forces of the unburied. Now, while fighting against them, Shiva got hurt. And so, it's really her trying her best to continue on fighting against the unburied. But you do have Batgirl trying her best to also protect her mother. Now, you do have Batgirl being able to get her mother the heck out of there. But here comes the problem though. You see, for Batgirl, she realized that her mother is injured, but at the same time, they're going to need some help. And she says, listen, let me go ahead and call in the Bat family to help out with this situation because right now we need their help. But for Lady Shiva, she says, no, you cannot call in the Bat family at all because if you do, they're going to die. This organization, they're coming after me and people who are connected to me, which means you. And then sooner or later, they'll go after people who are connected to you, which means the Bat family. We got to protect them, and I got to protect you. Now, for Batgirl, she knows somebody who could possibly help her mother heal up. Now, right after you have Lady Shiva and also Batgirl leave the temple that was on fire behind, we kind of find out that the fire department of Gotham City arrived to deal with the flames of the temple. But the problem is you have some firefighters go inside to see if anybody needs some help, except when they get inside, they're killed off. What seems to be the leader of the unburied, or possibly just the field leader. Either way, he killed them off as some part of a sacrifice to help him accomplish his mission. But now we jump back over to Batgirl and Lady Shiva. Now, when we do, we see the two characters going over to a restaurant that is owned by a character known as Babao. And I really hope I pronounced that last part correctly. I did go on Google to make sure I did pronounce it correctly, but either way, for Babao, she was somebody who had helped Cassandra when she was on the streets. She gave her food. Now, for Cassandra, she always came back over and over and over again. And Babao gave her more meals over and over again. But here's the thing. For Babao, she realized that Cassandra had different kinds of fighting styles. And so you had Cassandra begin to teach Babao's grandchildren the different fighting styles that she had learned over the years. And for Babao, she began to teach Cassandra a new kind of fighting style. And so it was a kind of cool thing to see that for Cassandra, she was able to build some connections with other people in Gotham City. And for Lady Shiva, it kind of does bother her a tad bit that there were other people out there doing things that she did not do for her own daughter. Like, for example, just being there, but also trying to take care of her properly. But either way, you do have Babao being able to patch up Lady Shiva from her injuries. Now, I kind of want to sit down and talk about the whole legend or the whole origin of the unburied. Not to the whole origin, but at the same time, kind of feel like there's some details being left out when it comes to the unburied. But for right now, all we know is that for the unburied, they are an ancient organization from centuries ago. Now, apparently, they were a group of monks who had found this special blue type of flower. Now, apparently, this flower was only growing in one particular area. the graves of 100 monks who had died in some kind of bloody war. And it kind of felt like it was the chi energy of the dead that was going into these blue flowers that were growing in that area. Now, over time, you had the monks that were alive kind of realize that the blue flowers gave them different kinds of abilities. Now, they were able to protect these blue flowers from the rest of the world. But the problem was that the earth had, well, earthquakes, and the whole group fell into the cracks of the earth. Now, we're kind of left to believe that they had died so long ago, but apparently they were able to break free from being underground. And that's really it for them for now. But of course, they do find Lady Shiva and also Batgirl, and that leads into another battle. Now, you do have Batgirl, Lady Shiva, Bao Bao, and also her grandsons being able to hold off against the Unburied at first, but then Batgirl gets one heck of a beatdown by a character called Kaldin, the Unseen of the Unburied. Now, for Kaldin, he moves really fast, and he was able to give her one heck of a beatdown. I mean, guys, I feel so bad for Batgirl because she got her butt whooped. But you do have Lady Shiva being able to save her daughter at the very last second. And so you do have Batgirl and Lady Shiva being able to get out of the restaurant. But the problem is they're now leaving behind Babao and her grandsons to fight against the Unburied. But for Lady Shiva, it's more of like they don't have a choice here. Unfortunately, sometimes you gotta make sacrifices if you plan on surviving or being able to complete some kind of goal. And so you do have Batgirl and Shiva being able to get over to a train to get away. But unfortunately for Babao and her grandsons, well, they were left behind to fight against the Unburied. And so we're kind of left to believe in the possibility that they might have been killed off. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and also subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.